Greetings, everyone, and welcome. And welcome to session 3 of our 31 part session, 31 part series on the topic of prayer. This entire endeavor is birthed from a collection of dreams that I had in 2024. I had a collection of dreams in 2024, and those dreams was really just the heart of God engraving on my own heart the necessity of prayer. I have always valued prayer and considered prayer as a pillar of my life and walk with God, but in that season, God was just peeling back layers and calling me to a place of prayer. The dreams that I mentioned, the first one in May of 2024, I had a dream where the voice of the Lord simply spoke and said, "Build me an altar of prayer." Every day since, my heart has been marked by that dream. I can't get away from it. Then in October, I had a dream where I saw two different prayer movements feeding into a third, and as they did, I saw a mass circle of just youth and young adults, diverse people would one by one step into the center of this circle, and they would begin to pray. As they did, they were attacking the plans of the enemy, and they were declaring the word of the Lord. And the glory of the Lord rested upon this in a way I can't articulate. God's presence and hand was on this in a way that I can't even describe. God has burdened my heart with prayer in an immense way. Over these 31 days, this is part 3 of it. Over these 31 days, we are just going to continue to dig deeper into the topic of prayer. And this first leg of the endeavor, the goal of this first leg of the endeavor is simple: a paradigm shift on what prayer is. So often we see prayer as just like a list of things that we're petitioning God to do. I believe God is wanting to shift that paradigm. I believe God is wanting us to see prayer while we do petition God to do certain things. When we boil prayer down to a petition of things we ask God to do, we completely miss prayer for what it is. Prayer, it is communion between us and God. It is a conversation between us and God. In our session yesterday, and at the end of our first session, we hit on where Jesus basically talks about how at judgment there will be people that will say to him, "We did all these great works for you. We healed the sick, we cast out demons, we did all these marvelous works." But yet Jesus looks at them and says, "Depart from me, I never knew you." These people were people that knew of God. These people were people that probably did greater works than the vast majority of American Christians. These were people that knew of God, but they did not know God. I am concerned that the American church is full of droves and multitudes of people that know of God, but they don't know him for themselves. Prayer, I think the heartbeat of prayer is coming into alignment where your relationship with God, it's not just you know of him, but you know of him. If your relationship with God is just you know of him, but you don't know him, then you don't even have a relationship with him. Like, do you realize that? Like, if you just know of God, but you don't know God, then you have no relationship with him. If there's somebody that I know of them, but I don't know them, then I don't have a relationship with them. I'm concerned the vast majority of American Christians, they profess to be a Christian, but they have no relationship with God. But because they attend Sunday service somewhere and they give and they do these things and they do these works and they're faithful to these works, they think because they're faithful to the works that they know God. I know, like, talking about this, there will be people that will look at all of this and write it off and think that, like, I'm making something out of nothing. To double down on this entire heartbeat, I would draw our attention to the Laodicean church. As we draw our attention to the Laodicean church, you're familiar with the text. You probably know exactly what the Laodicean church is, right? Like, it is a church that is referred to as this lukewarm church. Like, they are neither hot nor cold. And because they're neither hot nor cold, God will spew them out of their mouth at judgment. When we look at this church, though, something that we need to keep in mind is it is the church. Like, God's not talking to people that are astray from him. God is talking to the people that on paper are his people. And there is a line that I specifically want us to look at as Jesus addresses the Laodicean church. It is Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. Jesus says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me." That is the King James text of the Bible. In more modern translations of the Bible, it says things like, "I will come in and commune with him and he'll commune with me." The place that Jesus calls this lukewarm church to, it is a place of communion with him, a place of fellowship with him. That is what prayer is. Prayer is communion. Prayer is fellowship. Prayer is a conversation. God is not a far distant ideal. God is not an accessory. God is not removed from us. God is real. God is personal. God desires fellowship with us. God desires communion with us. And I would propose to you, that is what prayer is. Prayer, it is a conversation. It is us conversing with God. And God is not the one that throws us out the house. We are the ones that throw him out the house. Jesus says to the Laodiceans, "I stand at the door and knock. And if you let me in, I will come in and I will sit with you and I will talk with you and you will talk with me." That is what Jesus says to the Laodiceans. He doesn't say to them, "Behold, I stand at the door and I knock. If you'll acknowledge me and tell me what you want me to do, I'll do that for you, and then you can go about your day and continue to do everything that you normally do." God's not looking for a people that will send him a list of things that they hope he will do. God is looking for people that will sit with him and converse with him. That is prayer. Prayer is friendship with God. As we wrap this session up and we look ahead to next session, we are going to dive into a story about Abraham. And everything that we have been talking about, like we've been talking about it in a hypothetical way, we are going to look at Abraham tomorrow. We're going to look at Abraham in the next session. And we're not going to see it in a hypothetical way, but we're going to see it in a literal way. We are going to see friendship between God and man. We are going to see a conversation between God and man. Until then, peace.